Good evening, my lovely brethren. Good evening, our distinguished members of Class 87 of Immaculate Conception Seminary, Ahiaeke, Ahiaeke. I greet you all this lovely evening. For some of us that are in Nigeria, and I greet you in a time zone that you have been blessed by the Lord to find yourself. Greetings all. I am delighted to be making this media presentation in view of our upcoming maiden historical general election, the very first election that our class will be privileged to conduct as to perfect our propriety, the propriety of our executive to function and to deliver as per their respective functions and subject to known and established rules and regulations. For the very first time in our life, we are being privileged to go through an election, a formal election. And this is our very maiden election, so properly said. We've had other semblance of an election previously, but this is the very first official, historical maiden election for Ahiaeke 87. And we need to greet and congratulate ourselves for this milestone. I congratulate our existing executive. In a special way, I will start by announcing my name. We are known to each other. I need a Mungwai, but for the purposes of official records, because I'm appearing here subject to the exercise of the powers in the office of our president, the outgoing president, where the Constitution demands that he appoints a returning officer for the conduct of the election. And so it is with deep humility and a tint of pride, very subdued pride of the opportunity of serving in my own class after many years, that I announce that I formally, Chukwuemeka Pius Ihunna, with humility, accepts in totality the role of returning officer for our elections to be held on the 14th of May 2022, this coming Saturday, all things being equal. I love this class. And I appreciate this class. Like we were taught in literature, in those days, during the literary terms, around character. This class is a class that is typically around character. There's nothing we don't have in this class. We have the dumb ones that cannot talk, but they are active behind the scene. We have the loquacious ones. We have the cool ones. We have the troublesome ones. At this age, we have captains of industries. We have powerful priests that have even added several feathers, colors of feathers. Some are even military officers. We are in everywhere. This is a very powerful pack of a class. So serving this class should be a thing of pride. And it is with humility that I accept to serve in this role of returning officer. And I pray that every one of us will help one way or the other to make this onerous exercise a very good success. Of course, I will start from the note that no one person is an example of all knowledge. No single person that will claim that he is all-knowing. Only God Almighty is all-knowing. We will try our best, and I solicit the assistance of everybody. The people that were very contributory during the course of the making of this constitution, the people that were active, the people that are seeing things, that people that foresaw certain things that we may not even anticipate will happen. But it is the reality of today. So I solicit that everybody will come on board to assist me in achieving a successful completion of this exercise. So it is with deep gratitude that I so accept this particular task. Now, we are supposed to have write-ups on our platform, but this is a kind of a starting point for what we are about doing. And that is why I said it will be good for me to be a little informal and be able to speak with everyone, speak to our hearts, and then solicit for our assistance before we enter into the the election proper. In the first instance, by the merits of this particular broadcast, the executive that we have, the president, the treasurer, the secretary, the three-man executive or more that we have, automatically stands down. They have become outgoing executives because I have taken hold by the powers that have been invested on me to pilot this transient period of transitory period of our life, which is the election period. And we pray that we will do that hastily. So I want to reiterate once again that it will be to our pleasure and greater industry that all beneficial scholarships of all and sundry be mustered and made available to me in any way you discover that we are derailing or we are not conforming to the standard that have been set, please feel free to call on me. My WhatsApp number is the effective number to reach me, and we will do the appropriate thing or recourse to the proper thing if we had derailed. So, in a nutshell, I want to thank Chief Lazarus Nzimo, our outgoing president. I wish to thank him for finding me worthy in his own discretion to handle this particular exercise. I want to thank our able treasurer, Mokunta, the secretary of the treasurer. But all we know is that they have been wonderful. With so much humility, with so much subservience, they have been serving us. And we appreciate what they have done for us. We are grateful. So, Mr. President, we are grateful. The whole class is grateful for your service so far. And we are grateful for the way and manner our treasurer, our secretary, have been able to handle our affairs with so much probity and accountability. We thank you on behalf of our class. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Thank you very much for your service. So now we have a duty to execute, and that will be on the subject to any unforeseen. Our election will be holding at the appropriate time as stipulated on the 14th of May 2022. The mode of the election comes to fore. When we look at our constitution, we look at this expressed mode of election as expressed in the provisions of the constitution. Article 7 sub 2. You can see the mode that we are enumerated there. But if you look at them, they seem to be impracticable at the moment, because balloting may not be possible in the instance, because we are not congregating in one place for the people in Nigeria to begin to vote. And the ones in diaspora, the Zoom issue, the inconsistency of network, and such other things that may arise that will frustrate capacity to sustain the service on that particular day. So suggestions have been coming here and there. We've seen what the outgoing president suggested and the other things and all the rejoinders on it. In view of that, it is pertinent that before we proceed on this election, that we will recourse ourselves to our constitution. We will look and see that it is pertinent that we invoke Article 15 of our constitution that harps on amendments and curing any rigidity, the provision that gives us the opportunity to cure any rigidity that may work so much hardship and make us not to proceed, and then ameliorate it, even if it's temporarily suspending the provisions of Article 7 sub 2, and then applying and adopting temporarily the WhatsApp forum choice of voting. And then immediately after the election, we can now re-invoke the provisions of Article 15. We can set aside this particular Article 7 sub 2, adopt what we can use to achieve our aim of election, which is within our powers, within our law, our constitution, within the powers given to us by the constitution through the amendments. And then after we have cured the hardship, achieved the election, we can now re-invoke the provisions of the constitution. It is within our powers to do. So this is a point that the General House may have to look at, and then probably, because we need to know the mode. It has to be a uniform mode for everybody. Since applying the other modes, we create a kind of inconsistency, or may not allow us for the kind of synergy we require for this election. So we need to make it simple as voting through your WhatsApp, through the forum. You vote, you state the people you want, you vote. It's a suggestion. I have no power to do this. I have no power to say it is the General House that will have to adopt it, and then it becomes legitimate, so that the officers will be electing at the end of the day will not be seen to be illegitimate, or will not be seen to be described as illegitimate, because they did not follow or conform with the strict rules of the Constitution. So when we apply this particular invocation of Article 15, we will be achieving legitimacy, you understand, so properly called. So, and that is one. We'll look at the mode. It is this mode that we will have to tackle before we can proceed to election proper. So, I want us to bear that in mind. Now, there are certain issues that I want to bring, to fore. Now, the Constitution is Section 7 sub 2. Is talking, Section 3 sub B is talking of the kind of member that is eligible to vote in this election. Which member is eligible? What makes a member qualified to vote? They say he must be a constitution member. A member that is properly subscribed to the requirements of the Constitution of Ahiaeke 87 class. Now, they said it must be a member that have registered. You must have been registered with us. Your name must be contained in the register of members of Ahiaeke 87. That is number one. Number two, you must be up to date. You must have paid your dues. You must be up to date as per your dues. We don't need to stretch this. We know that our registration is 1,000 naira. We equally know that our monthly dues is pegged at 500 naira per month. And a year, 12 months is 6,000 naira.
What do you?
I am on broadcast. I'm online, please. So, 6,000 naira is for 1 year. 3,000 naira is for 6 months in any particular year, depending on when you registered with us. The registration is a one-time affair. You don't register twice in our organization. Once you pay the 1,000, you are done with that particular requirement. The dues, we started counting our dues from last year. The due 2021 dues, 2022 dues. So the people that will be eligible for this election are people that have paid that have registered with us and that have paid their dues up to April 2022. Your dues must be up to date and will be seen and interpreted to be up to date if you had paid up till April 2022. April 2022 is the updated dues, the minimum requirement for eligibility in this election. Let us be very clear about this. The essence of this particular broadcast is to help us not to disenfranchise ourselves. Because club elections, association elections, and all such sundry elections are period of compliability. It is also financial period. It's a period that the organization harnesses its finances, organizes itself, and puts things in order financially. Because only people who are financially up to date that have the power to participate in this election. They have the power to participate in the election. Before the running up to the election, they can suggest things and their suggestion will have weight because they are financially viable under the constitution of this particular organization. So if you are not up to date yet, you still have between now and the end of Friday. Today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. You have up till 12 midnight on Friday to update your liabilities. Please, for the people that have access to this broadcast, please let everyone help check, because many of us may be in assignment somewhere, may not have this access to where to pay or what to do or whatever. Please, if you can reach any one of us, you scrutinize the platform, find out whom we are nominating and whom we would love to be on the board, on our executive board, and find out the financial status of the person. You can also pay for the person. You understand? You can pay on behalf of the person. You may remind the person later on, but you can go ahead and pay just to regularize the person and make him eligible for the position you are nominating him. Or you call the person's attention so that the person will be able to regularize his self. Please, very, very important. Eligibility. 1, you must be a registered member. 2, you must be up to date. You must have paid your dues up to April 2022. If you want to pay till December, no problem. Some people have paid till 2023. Excellent. Okay? Those are viable financial constitution members. And that is what we want. Please, this association is not an association where somebody will be patronizing. You stand one place, you'll be looking down on everybody. That is not the kind of organization the caliber of our class we belong to. Members of everybody in this class seem to be very busy. You understand? But this is our class. This is us. The innocent children that came into Ahiaeke in September 17th, 1982. This is us. This is us, naked. So we need to be ourselves. So please, nobody is bigger than this class. Nobody is greater than this class. Every assignment, everywhere you find yourself in this world is because you were privileged to enter this class and interact, compete, and then graduate. All of us learn from everybody. I learned from very many of our class members, our classmates. So please, let everybody call on whoever or help out and or alert in and make sure that our preferred nominees are actual constitution members. Very important. We do not want to take the displeasure of disenfranchising or eliminating anybody. We wouldn't want that. We want our best. We want the best. So far the nominees are wonderful. So we want the best. So whatever that we work hardship, we want to eliminate it timelessly. Thank you. So that is for the issue of eligibility. So we have dealt with the issue of Article 15. That is absence of practicable procedure in respect of the election, the constitution, the demands of the constitution. You know, that there's immediate need for invocation of provisions of Article 15 so that we can legitimately and properly amend or bypass the certain rigid provisions to be able to, for the sake of expediency, to be able to achieve this election. So without much prejudice to the content of this Article 15, it is advised in the spirit of speed and timely delivery that members should move for the suspension of that particular provision of the Constitution that is working hardship. You know what I mean? The mode of election as outlined in the Constitution. The issue of Zoom voting, the issue of, what do they call it now? Ballots, you know, physical ballots. Those ones are not practicable. So we can amend it through the invocation of Article 15, which we can do tomorrow with a simple majority. Once a simple majority, people say go ahead, you understand? The outgoing president can call on this and then we can proceed. And then that's it. Now, there's an issue that I saw on the platform. I know that many of us have seen it too. I'm sure Jonas Zembachi may have also noticed, because he's always very apt in noticing things that could be of danger to us. So that is the issue of our comrade, the person that is supposed to be the collation officer. I discovered from the nominees that he's one of the nominees. So Sir Jude Mwaneri, Kelechi Mwaneri, is hereby disqualified from the position of a collation officer. You cannot be a collation officer in this same election where you are standing for an office. It's not done because, how do they say, it's a threat of justice, fair hearing. How do they say it? Nemo iuris in causa sua. You cannot be a judge in your own case. You cannot be the one collecting collecting the votes, telling us the number of people that voted for this office or the other, because you are interested party. So I will do you the honor of removing you from here, because you are more important. If eventually you win, you are the position you are looking for. You will be more useful to us. So we don't want any person attacking us on the basis of illegitimacy or impropriety. So, Sir Jude, with all humility, I request that you recuse yourself from this particular exercise. You will not be part of the collation officer. And I hereby also request that the House, the outgoing president, with the residual power that you have during this transition period, you call on the House to give me another collation officer for this election. Somebody who is up to date, who is registered with us, who has paid his dues up to April 2022, and who is not standing for any position in this current election. So I make this request humbly, and I know that it will be granted. So that is about our member, Jude Nwaneri, which I saw. Please, I reiterate again, if you know any member who has been nominated for a position and who is not yet a financial, a constitution member, so properly called, please help us reach him or do the needful on his behalf, and we will be updated by midnight on Friday. We'll be updated by midnight on Friday. So, yes, I've treated the issue of our the person vying for assistant secretary. He's ineligible for the position of electoral collation member. Yeah, I've dealt with that. Yes, these things keep recurring. The eligibility, only members that have paid up their dues, that are registered with us, and have paid up their dues are expected to be eligible. So everyone is hereby enjoined to pay up so that we will have a full house. There's nothing greater than you have 60 members, registered members, and the 60 registered members will vote in the election. That's a popular vote. That's a very legitimate government being elected. So, like I said, one of the benefits of constitution members will be they can contribute prior to this election. They can make suggestions that are of consequence in this election. They can vote in the actual election, okay? And they can take such the benefits of such voting. So if you are not a constitution member, that means you are making noise, because any suggestion you make here is of no relevance to us, and you cannot vote in the election, which is a miserable one. So we've all worked together. A lot of you, a lot of our brothers, they have worked so tirelessly for this organization that some of us are coming in to pilot one tiny affair or the other. You know, they have worked far better than us, far ahead. Very powerful. So financial viability is very important to at least leverage on this good work you have done, so that you can participate in this election, because we have a vision. We are moving somewhere, and after this election, we will be very grateful that we were able to come together, elect our own officers, and then we hold them accountable. You understand? So it's a wonderful thing to do. So please, I dealt with a few things that I was able to take from the Constitution, and as it will affect my assignment to conduct the election, and I will appeal to us, to our erudite and distinguished comrades, great men, solid men, powerful men, honorable men, and for us to do the needful. Let's just do the needful. Let us prepare for this election. Let the preparation start, and that is invocation of Article 15, so that we can cure the rigidity, and then in the meantime, let everyone get ready. Begin to make calls. Anybody you see on the platform is not up to date, call him. Request, plead. You understand? You understand? Let there be a full house. Thank you very much. Traje nos Vigo Immaculata. Thank you very, very much.